What is up, my dudes and that one girl who wants to stay looking pretty after the motorcycle accident? This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. You ring the bell, you'll know when they come out. So let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator? Check my referral link down below. Want to support me and all my do-goodness like these cool guys here? Bam! Then you should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for all this money? Well, it is not to buy 10,000 more helmets, to do 10,000 more helmet reviews. Trust me, there is a link down below explaining where all that money goes to, next to the 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that also go to a good cause. Get it? Got it? Good? Cool. Let's move on. Okay guys, so today we're going to be doing the long-term review of my HJC RPHA 91 modular. Now, you haven't been seeing this in the videos too much, and we are going to get into that for sure. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm not going to rehash too much into what I've already talked about in previous videos if you do want to see that stuff, and I do highly encourage that you check that out. So, you know, you get the full story and you get basically all my thoughts and feedback on this helmet. Those links will be at the end of this video, so definitely check those out. All right, so let's dive into this. First and foremost, we will cover just a few of the basics. That the RPHA 91 is the newest modular. It's probably their nicest, newest, biggest, best modular that they have on the market currently. It is new for 2023, so just in case you're watching this video in the future. It retails for about $550 US, depending on which style you get. For these just straight colors like this right here, where like this is a semi-flat titanium, stuff like the white, the anthracite, the blue, the black, all that, they're going to come in about $550. There are different versions where there's some pattern work and whatnot, and those are a little more expensive. And of course, your region, the prices will be different, so take that into consideration. So with that $550, you get yourself a Pinlock, you get yourself a nice little helmet bag to put this in. It's actually a fairly good quality. And you get the helmet, which has a drop-down interior visor. It pops up in the front. You know, it does the stuff that a modular helmet's supposed to do. I'm sure if you are looking at this, you are familiar with modular helmets in general, what they do, all that fun stuff. So we don't really need to dig into that too much. For this helmet, yes, it is a 2X, so it's a little bit bigger. Yes, I have a large head. Go ahead and insert those jokes down below. Double entendre all the way around. You're welcome. So the other thing I do want to say is I am a long time HJC helmet user. I started with HJC helmets. I have used them over the years. I've had multiple ones. Probably my favorite one is the RPHA they had with like the Ghost Rider decal on it. That was absolutely phenomenal. If I find a picture, I'll post it here. I actually started this channel with an HJC i90 modular. I had that for quite a few years before I moved over to my current helmets. So I'm very familiar with the HJC product line. I am very familiar with like how they build their helmets, like the style, the fit, and all that stuff. They really don't get too crazy or change too much from helmet to helmet when it comes to size and fit. So I know what's going to fit me, how it's going to work, and all that other fun stuff. The other disclaimer I want to get into is I paid for this helmet with my own money, and I have no agreements or no sort of considerations with HJC, so they are not buying, paying, investing, whatever, to get good reviews out of me or anything like that. These are my own opinions, and you know, take them as you may. All right, so let's start with the pros of this helmet, because there really are a lot of pros. This is a good helmet overall, and I really do want to start off on a good foot with this, because overall I think it is a helmet that should have some consideration to it when you are shopping. First and foremost, this helmet, the way they designed this, even with my camera mod on the front, this thing just slices through wind. I have been up to like 90, 95 miles an hour, maybe a little faster faster, and I am never feeling my head just being pulled on and whipped around and whatnot. It just slices through. I can feel the wind on my chest and stuff like that. So, I mean, for those of you not aware, I ride a 2018 Road Glide Special that has been heavily modified. I don't have a tall windshield or anything like that, so I do catch a lot of wind, but not with this helmet. It really just does slice through the wind. I mean, it is great. Even when I'm turning my head to look over and make sure there's no cars before changing lanes or whatnot, I do not feel any sort of like overbearing pull on this helmet. It feels great. Same thing, there's no like lift underneath, like, you know, you don't have that thing where the helmet's kind of trying to pull up on you because the wind's rushing up. This thing is very well designed. High five to you, HJC. You just did a fantastic job designing a very wind capable helmet. Is that a term? It is now. Now, the next thing is, this is a very quiet helmet. Now, I know quietness is subjective. Some people may find something much more quiet than other people or much more loud than other people. For me personally, I find this to be a quiet helmet. Part of how I judge that is I have my whole Motovlogger setup in here. I've got my microphones in here. And when I'm doing like 85, 90, yes, there is wind noise in there. And yes, my mic is picking up some wind noise, but it is not overblowing my mic. It's not causing pops or anything like that. I don't find myself having to yell because, you know, when you're in a loud room, you naturally speak up because you're compensating for that louder noise. Same thing when you're inside a helmet. If you are just getting rocked by wind, if it's just hitting your ears at insane levels, you're going to speak louder, assuming that people cannot hear you. I don't find that to be true with this helmet. It is a really good volume. That being said, I can also hear my speakers pretty well with this. I do turn them up a little bit louder than other helmets I do wear, so yes, there is some extra insulation in here or whatever they're doing to sound deaden, but overall, music I can hear. Wind does not really affect me. The last time I rode this, I actually took it for a 1,000-mile 1K in a day out to Milwaukee, so I was on the bike for about 16 hours with just stops for gas and quick breaks and whatnot. And you know, I stayed around like the 80-mile-an-hour mark. When I take off this helmet, I didn't have that thing, and you know, people who wear helmets know this. You know, you take off your helmet after a very long ride, you sort of get that whoa, whoa, whoa in your ears. I didn't get that. It's very comfortable. I didn't feel just like drained at the end of my trip. I didn't feel any sort of like neck pain or anything from the wind just kind of wrestling my helmet. This overall, this is designed to crunch some miles when it comes to like wind and sound. If you're looking for something quiet that's slicing through the wind, this is definitely something you want to consider. Now, the drop-down visor, this just works. Now, I know a lot of you may say, oh, well, you know, drop-down visor, it's supposed to work. They all work, that's what they do. I love the fact that, first off, HJC always puts their trigger just down here on the bottom. It's very easy to find. I'm not reaching back or anything. It's just, you know, one thumb, forward or back, right along the bottom part of my helmet. I love that. This is also an adjustable visor. There is a panel that removes here, so you can actually bring it out a little bit further or a little bit closer to you, which is great for people who wear glasses like myself. That's another side note. The channels for glasses in here are absolutely fantastic. This is one of the few helmets that I wear where I don't find my glasses sitting just slightly off the bridge of my nose because like my head isn't lined up in some way, shape, or form to the channel in the helmet. So I think if you're wearing eyeglasses, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with this helmet and very happy with it. So I think that is absolutely fantastic. If you want to ride this in the up position, they have a little lock here, that little red button, and it's just simple, like push it forward, push it back when you're using it. So yeah, now it's locked. All I do is push out, and then this trigger releases it, and you can close it again. So it does lock into place, and that is absolutely fantastic. For me, myself, I don't like riding in that position, just because then your face is exposed, you get in an accident, you get your face torn off. It's just not cool, guys. It's not cool. But you know, when you're at a gas stop or something, you don't want to take off your helmet and you're trying to move through real quick, or you're talking to your friend who doesn't have a communicator or whatnot, it makes it much easier because you're not yelling through a helmet. You just lift this up, you're good to go. If you are somebody who likes to ride with the visor up, notice that this visor stays very, very close to the helmet. It's not like some weird headband sticking over your head. This stays very, very close to the helmet, and that's because it moves up and back. This is a fantastic design that HJC has done, and I think it is absolutely great. And it makes you look just slightly less ridiculous driving around with an open modular helmet. The airflow on this thing is amazing. It has a ton of air going through it, so it's got these little eyebrow things. Honestly, I don't feel the wind coming off these little eyebrow things, but I did notice that, you know, they tend to keep my visor clean and dry and all that stuff, so they're doing something. This huge paddle vent at the top, when you open this, you feel wind just coming right over your cranium. It is fantastic, and right out the back of these ports here, this one is also open and close, and then these are just passive ports that always remain open, so you have fantastic venting. There is also some venting down here at the bottom. All right, so let's talk about sizing. This is actually one of the issues that I ran into, and it's actually caused me to not wear the helmet lately. So it's something I do want to bring up, and hopefully I can get corrected in the near future, because I would like to wear this helmet again. This is a 2X helmet. For those of you not aware, helmet makers make their helmets, and a lot of times they will do the shells in a few different sizes. The more shell sizes they have, the less actual sizes that you purchase share that shell size. So like if this was a small/medium, it would be the same shell, but the medium would have more padding in it just to thicken it up and make it more comfortable for you. That's why you can swap out cheek pads and headliners and stuff like that to make a helmet more comfortable. Maybe the cheek pads are too thick, but the headliner's just right. You swap out the cheek pads, perfect. So nonetheless, this is the largest in the line. So it has a very thin headliner. One of the issues I found, especially going out to Milwaukee and one of the other long distance trips I used for this is I had a lot of like pain, like a hot spot on my forehead from this helmet. I found myself often trying to shimmy the helmet around, mainly just to get it off of that sore spot that it was creating, to the point where like when I got back from Milwaukee, I pretty much had a bruise on my forehead from this shell, and that is just a no-go. It was basically this edge right here, just kind of like digging into my head. I have contacted HJC in the interest of fairness, and I talked to them about this stuff, and they said that the headliner may be a little too thin. I have asked if there's a place I can purchase a thicker headliner, so basically the extra large instead of the 2 extra large. They have not responded to that. I have looked on different sites like Revzilla and stuff, which is where I've purchased cheek pads and stuff for previous helmets. Could not find it. Could not even find an option to purchase it on the HJC side like helmet, so could not even find a place to purchase it on the HJC website, which was a bit troubling to me. So at this moment, I'm just not wearing this helmet because I don't really use these for bombing around town, just because they are a little bit more top heavy than, you know, helmets that are not modular. I like modulars for long distance trips, and it's a no-go at this point in time. So that does bring me into some other stuff. Yes, this helmet does feel top heavy, although I did weigh this against my full face helmet, and they're right about the same weight. It's just basically how it's distributed, which makes sense because this is a modular and it does have the drop down visor. My full face does not, so there's going to be more weight up here because those are where the mechanics and whatnot are. Overall, again, it didn't really affect me, like my ride and stuff. I didn't like end my 1,000-mile trip going, oh, my neck hurts or anything like that. So you will feel the weight up here a little bit more than other helmets. Not saying modulars because, again, modulars tend to have a little bit more weight up here, but that's something you do want to be aware of. The other thing, and this is more of just kind of a gripe for me, and it's because of my poor planning, this still uses a double D ring. Now, I know in like the UK and stuff, I think they're actually using a ratchet strap, but the US version uses the double D. I don't care for that, mainly because I am horrible about remembering to strap up my helmet before I ride off. If you've watched any videos where I am wearing this, many times you've probably seen the strap hanging down because I straight up forgot. That's where like the Pinlock systems and stuff like that that are out there really come into play, and they're quite useful because I'm not trying to get this through a double D ring with gloves on, you know, doing like 60, 70 miles down the highway. I can just pull the strap over. I would love to see something like that on the HJCs. My other issue would be with the actual Pinlock. This I am not faulting HJC for because Pinlock is its own company. So I've used many Pinlocks on many different helmets and whatnot. This is the first time I've really had an issue that I'm about to talk about. So I could just chalk this up to maybe some sort of manufacturer defect with Pinlock, but I do want to bring this up just in case, because as I mentioned before, when you go to open this helmet, it kind of distorts the helmet on one side. So maybe that is the cause, but I'm not sure. So this Pinlock is supposed to be in there, obviously. The few times that I did ride with this visor up, something happened where it actually loosened this and knocked it out of place. Now, honestly, I have never seen a Pinlock come out. Even helmets where I've gone to take the Pinlock out, it's a struggle. Once those things are in, they are in. There is a little gasket on there. It just seals against the helmet. All these helmets have like basically a little lip that they catch this on, along with the Pinlock pins on the side. I mean, these are just meant to set it and forget it. And this was not the case. I actually went to close this visor and it wouldn't close, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And then I noticed my Pinlock had actually dropped down out of the helmet. So at one point in time, I was at a red light ripping this out so I could actually close my visor. I have put it back in and I had the same results. So again, that might be a Pinlock thing and not an HJC thing, but I did want to bring that up. Now, also in the interest of transparency, I have reached out to HJC about my issues with the visor slamming down and getting like bruises from wearing this headliner. They have said that this is an issue that they are discussing, mainly to see if they could like manufacture a better like clip on this side and on this side that's, you know, will hold the visor in place at higher speeds. They don't have that just yet. It's been about a month of back and forth where we've discussed this. I have also asked them about the headliner and I haven't heard about that. And again, I've even offered to purchase it. I haven't heard it back on any options to actually get a new headliner to replace it. Overall, that is way more important to me than this visor because again, the airflow is fantastic on this thing. So because of that, I deem this helmet to be unwearable for the time being for my purposes. And not, again, not because of the visor, fantastic airflow, but because it puts me in pain when I'm riding much longer distances. And I have actually heard other people who reached out to me after I did the initial reviews on this helmet, bringing up stuff like that, bringing up this visor, bringing up like, you know, a little bit of pain on the front and stuff. So these are not just issues to me. So that's something I do want to make you aware of as well. If this does change in the near future, I will definitely make a video to update you on that. But for the time being, I would almost not recommend you purchase this helmet until those updates are made or, you know, brought about, whatnot, because that really is an issue, especially for a $550 helmet. That is quite a bit of money for something that is going to make you very uncomfortable to use. And I hate saying this because again, I really do like HJC. I have used their helmets for years. I love them. But right now, this helmet is not cutting it for me. So that's what I've got. Do you have one of these? Sound off down below. What are your experiences with it? Because I would love to share those with other people seeking feedback on this. Aside from that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's like, I love modular helmets, I'm gonna buy them all. You might want to hit pause on that, buddy, just for this one. Trust me. And I will see you all on the flip side.